You talk about the good times, talk about the good times. Oh, if you ever needed help, a friend was there. Some good neighbor will help lift your burden. And the simple joys of life, your friends will share. Times are harder.
All right. Hey, guys. Rick here with Elvis-A-Z, and I have Michael Riker here from the YouTube channel Top of the Hops, and we are doing a top 5 female co-stars. We might get a little salacious here. I don't know. But, Michael's got his beer. You want to tell us what beer you got?
Yeah, it's called a house lager.
It's an invisible one.
Yeah, so it's let me get this going right. There we go. So it's from Jack's Abbey. It's they're based in Massachusetts, and all they do is lagers, which are nice. They're very crisp.
Oh, I love lagers, man.
Yeah. I've been really getting into them lately. I'm more of an IPA guy, but over the past couple months, I've been really getting into these lagers, and this one is really nice. It's very sweet, very crisp, clean, no bitterness, no aftertaste. It's got a nice lacing here. So here's to you, Rick.
All right, man.
You having me on.
Here, I come full blast.
You got your sweet wine? Yeah, the Sutter. Yes.
Yeah, that's my wine. That's the one that puts me to sleep at night. So we've been talking about this for a little while, and I'm excited about it. So what we're gonna do is Michael and I are gonna mention our top 5 female co-stars, and we're gonna talk about our favorite scenes with them. And that one was even harder than picking the top 5.
Yes,
because there's so many good scenes. But the way I do it is the first scene that pops in my mind.
Right.
So that's how I do it. Now, I don't know how you do it, but of course they're gonna all be inserted into this video when I edit it all. We're gonna have those clips from the movie with this, so everybody will have a chance to enjoy this. And let's just kick it off. Michael, who is your number 5 favorite female co-star?
So my number 5 is funny because there's been a lot of controversy I've read about this female co-star, whether Elvis liked being with her or not. Yet she did 2 movies with him, and I also read an interview where she actually met him, which I didn't know, back in '57. And they kind of had like a little bit of an affair. And that's from Blue Hawaii and Kid Galahad, Joan Blackman.
Yeah.
To me, I thought they had like a kind of like a cutesy, kind of innocent type of relationship on screen. Maybe it's because both movies I really enjoyed. Blue Hawaii and Kid Galahad are great movies to me.
Yeah.
And she kind of plays kind of the same part almost, but I just love their chemistry. I thought she looked really good next to him, and even though she, her acting chops aren't above like some of the other co-stars, I thought they worked well together, and I really enjoyed their chemistry together. And I think one of the scenes that I enjoyed, especially from Kid Galahad, I think it's on your channel, is when he first meets her, and he's working on the car, and like he's like stumbling and bumbling, and he like runs into the wall as he's backing out, and he works on the car, and he hears her. Obviously, he keeps looking at her, and that's one of my favorite scenes from Kid Galahad.
I'm out here.
So what's there to see?
Just the country. Things you don't see in the Bronx anymore.
That's fine. I'll remember to send you a picture. Tomorrow you'll be back in the Bronx.
And obviously with Blue Hawaii, I mean, there's so many great ones. Obviously the fight they had in the room where she thinks he's with the older woman and stuff. So
yeah.
But like I said, I always like their chemistry together. Like I said, it's not It's not like some of the other ones that are later on in my list, but I find it very cutesy, very innocent, and I just enjoy their chemistry together.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think she was great in those two movies.
Yeah,
I kind of liked her a little bit more in Kid Galahad than I did the other one. She just looked
me
cuter.
too. Yes, agreed.
So my number 5 was very hard. She almost didn't make the list because, I think people are going to be really surprised that she might not even made my list with is Anne Margaret.
Mm.
She's not, and it was between her and Anne Helm. And but I wound up with Anne Margaret because I think a lot of people would shoot me if I didn't put her in the list. No, you're gonna once we get through my list, you're gonna understand why my list is the way it is. But I've always liked her in the movie. She's one of my favorite co-stars, obviously. But the scene that I like with her, of course, they got big chemistry. The history,
Yeah,
Anne Margaret and Elvis. But my favorite scene is almost not even her speaking. It's when both of him and the other guy are laying underneath the car looking at it, and she comes walking up in those hot pants.
yeah.
That is for every juvenile. That movie came out, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I think that's when I reached puberty.
Well, you have made some changes, haven't you?
I got my little secret.
Yeah, I can tell.
Can you help me, please?
Can we help you? Yes, ma'am.
Well, then I'd like you to check my motor. It whistles.
I don't blame it.
What did you say?
Oh, forgive my friend, miss. He's very young. We'll be very happy to check your motor.
What I call a real sporty model.
Oh, I agree. A beautiful line.
Yeah, she is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, and also, her career has been great. I mean, she's had some great, Academy
Even
Award
before,
nominations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, between Tommy and I even love her in the Grumpy Old Men series. She's still beautiful even at the age of 80.
Grumpy
She's
Old
still
Men are
gorgeous.
some great movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
She is. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was. She started off in Bye Bye Birdie and all those back even before Elvis, and she's got some history there for stardom, and of course, her being in Vegas, playing all the time,
right.
and I really wanted to go see her in Vegas, but my dad wouldn't. I wasn't old enough when we were living out there, because when we moved to Atlanta, it was just too far to go. But then she had that accident when she fell.
Right.
But yeah, Anne Margaret's my number 5. And of course, I'll put the scene in there, and every male will be happy to see that scene. And maybe a few females too. You never know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my number 5. Is
Okay.
Anne Margaret. Came really close to Anne Helm, though. I had to almost coin toss it because Anne Helm is just a sweetheart. She's
Right.
just a great
Yeah,
actress.
she's excellent.
And of course, everybody knows that's my favorite Elvis movie. Is Follow That.
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised she's not in your top 5. I was trying to guess your top 5 because I think I know who number 1 is, but I thought Anne Helm would be in your top 5.
I think
so.
everybody knows who she
Yeah. Yes.
I think people living in Russia know who my number 1
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. If anybody watches your channel knows who number 1 is. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you're number 4.
So my number 4, if you had given me a list 20, 25 years ago, she would have been nowhere on this list. This movie really has grown on me, and she has really grown on me watching it more and more as I gotten older. She's not the bombastic, I mean, she's beautiful in her own way. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But she's not your typical female co-star. But I think she is fantastic in this movie. And that is Marilyn Mason, 1969, The Trouble with Girls.
Mhm.
I didn't appreciate her when I was young, but as I gotten older, she is so good in this movie. I
Yeah.
love her interaction with Elvis. It's that they don't have a lot of screen time together, but when they
No.
do, oh my God, it is amazing. I love the scene where he's hiding in the closet, to not just get away from her, and she's yelling at him, and
Yeah.
I know, and he opens the closet, and it's just, I love it.
Know the killer? I think so.
Okay, give me a hint. Is it one of us?
Well, I can't tell you anything right now.
Come on. Who is it?
It's me. Open up.
Just a minute. He's not here.
I heard two voices.
Well, actually, I was just talking to myself.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what you know about law, but I not only majored in
Would you
economics.
care for a cup of
No,
coffee?
thank you. I went to law school for 6 months. And let me tell you, Smiley, there's a big crowd of people out there buying tickets to hear a murderer make a confession.
I know there's probably going to be about 2,000 people.
Well,
We'll have a full-
if it is true, and you do have the murderer, and Hale is exploiting the poor, sick, unfortunate creature. Ha-ha! Whoever he is, for personal gain, and you haven't gone to the police, you can be locked up for harboring, aiding, and concealing. You will be accessories before the fact, and that's not very nice for a kid because you can go to jail for 5 years and be fined $5,000 in the bargain. But if it's not true, and Hale is the lying, conniving charlatan I think he is, then every nickel you've collected will be impounded, and so will all the equipment, and you're all in the pokey for fraud. Now, how does that sound, You think about it. Smiley. You too, Rasputin.
The scene where he's laughing at her hysterically. Of course, that last scene where he sings almost to her is one of my favorite musical scenes not only in the movie but in all of his movies.
Yeah, his voice, everything, just
yeah. So I just love her. I think she's great in that movie. Like I said, there's not a lot of scenes with them together, but when they are there, to me, it packs a punch, and I love her in this movie.
Yeah, she's good. She's definitely in my top 10 of all. But I'm with you. I'm the same way. She grew on me.
Yes.
And I didn't even see Trouble with Girls for a long time. I saw it at the theater, and then I didn't see it for a long time. It just wasn't really an interest to me at first.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got older, and one day I was sitting there watching it, and I thought, man, this is really actually a pretty damn good movie,
It is, yeah. And Elvis is not, and it's great, not just Marilyn Mason, but Sherry North and Dabney Coleman, and it's a really good cast.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's got the little girl from Brady Bunch.
Yes, Cindy Brady. Yes,
Cindy Brady in there. Yeah. I'm looking like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Vincent Price. It's a really nice movie. It's a different movie than you expect from Elvis. And like I said, but I just think she plays her role perfectly.
Yeah, no, you're right. That scene when he's sitting at the piano playing, and it's touching, and she's standing there. And her acting ability right there, she didn't have to say a word. And she just stood there, the whole look at her, that was such a moving part. That really moved me. Yeah. As I get older, these romantic movies start to move me, and I'm just like, somebody hit me over the head with a bat. I'm
it's software old age there, Rick.
Yeah, I know, right. So my number 4 is she appeared twice, and it's Dolores Hart from King Creole and Loving You, and her personality, her whole persona is just that little girl next door. Mm-hmm. And I just think she's just fantastic. And I think Loving You was her first movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
If I'm not mistaken. And she didn't have a huge role in that movie as she did in King Creole. But my favorite scene is in King Creole when he takes her up to the hotel room. Mm. He's kind of like they're going to a room he's expecting, to hook up.
What can I do for you, sir?
What room's the party in?
I beg your pardon, what party?
No, the party the fellas are having.
Oh, it's up in 205.
Looks like my friends are late. Or maybe we're early, huh?
What kind of a game are you playing?
It's no game. Honest. I like you. What's your name?
Nellie. I told you in the store.
Oh, yeah, Nellie. I like you, Nellie. I like you a lot.
What's your name?
George.
How much did this room cost you?
Well, my name's Danny. Danny Fisher. You coming in?
I don't know. I've never been to a place like this before. But I want to see you again. Is this the way? I've been looking at the door of that lousy 5 and 10 for a year. Today when you walked in, I thought...
What are you bawling about? Stop bawling.
I like you. That's the reason I'm crying. I like you more than I like anybody I know. And I don't even know you. That's why I'm crying.
Party's over. Let's go.
Yeah.
And her, I got a piece of something waving from my eye. She, the look on her face and the tears in her eyes is just like she was so fascinated with him. It's not in her personality to do this.
Right.
But if that's what he wanted, she was so enamored with him just
Yeah.
off of the fact that she knew he was a thief and stealing from the store she was working in, you know?
Yeah.
That scene just strikes me. And there's other scenes that was like that with her too. And I would have loved to have seen her continue acting because I think she would have been one of the big ones. You know, one of the top, and maybe even appeared in another movie with Elvis because they're close. You know,
Right. It's funny because that one she just missed my list. She was my number 6.
Oh, really?
And you're right. I like when you. It looks like she was really in love with Elvis. I mean,
Yeah.
Which she really was.
Yeah.
But she shows it on screen, like you said. You made a perfect point. Her eyes told the story and everything that she did. She had these beautiful blue eyes, and like her sadness in some of those scenes are so great.
Yeah.
My favorite scene from her is when they're on the boat and he's taking her to go see the old house.
Hey, Danny.
Hi. You busy?
No.
Okay, we got a date, huh?
Uh-huh. Well, where are we going?
I'll show you. We're almost there. It's just around this bend. What do you see?
You don't know how I was hoping you'd come by. I don't even understand it. I mean, lots of fellas have come into the store asking for a date, just like you. Making cracks. You were even worse. You came in to rob the store. But I was looking for you when I came out. Then you took me to that hotel. And I went with you. I don't understand it. I thought I was a nice girl.
You are a nice girl, Nellie.
I've been thinking about that night, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I told you before.
No, Danny, that's not what I'm sorry about. It's like everything just started with you.
I guess both of us did something that day we'd never done before, Nellie. I never robbed a store. I guess it's the last time for everything, too.
Danny, I didn't mean it.
Wait, we're coming to it now. You see that house over there? Way over there, see it? It used to be our house. Paul bought it when I was about 8 years old. It was kind of my birthday present. We sure had a lot of happy times there. I'm gonna buy that house back someday, or one just like it. And I guarantee you nobody's gonna take it away from me. Nobody.
I told my mother about you. I told her I met $1 million boyfriend in a 5 and 10 cent store. Danny, aren't you ever going to kiss me tonight?
Now, don't fall in love with me. Love means getting married and having kids. And I don't even know who I am yet.
Who do you have to be?
Well, I don't want to be like my old man. Love, marriage, having kids. I want to be somebody first.
Do you know a better way? You could still kiss me.
Just leave it at that, Nellie, for now, anyway. I mean, just so it was you that I wanted to be with tonight to show my house.
I love that scene between those two, and you know, and she even like basically almost like pleading with him, like, can we be together? And he was like, you have to give me time here, honey. It's like I love that scene between those two, and like you said, their chemistry was great, and they had that innocent type of cutesy little relationship, but her eyes told the story for me.
Yeah, that's it's just like when an actress can emote everything without a word. That's an actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's my number 4.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she's and I lived in Connecticut for 13 years. It's where I wound up retiring from. We moved from there in 2013.
Oh, not far from me.
Yeah, up in Waterford. I worked for a hotel management company. I was a corporate engineer.
Oh, okay.
So I used to oversee hotels, and there were a few in New York and out in Oklahoma. I used to do a lot of traveling, but I always knew that she lived there up at she lives in Connecticut.
Right.
And I always wanted to go by there and just see if I could get a chance to see her, but work just kept me from it. And it was just one of those things. I don't want to be a stalker, but I would love to meet her because I just fascinated. I read her books, a great book. I saw the movie, Bigger Than Elvis, the movie,
the movie I saw,
and she's just she's a classy person, up and down, all the way down.
She really is. Yeah, it's a great number 4, Rick.
So number 3 for you, Michael.
All right, you mentioned this with Anne Margaret, so this one is strictly a young man's fantasy, to be honest with you. Not sure. I mean, I think she's really good in the movie, but to me, it's the way she looks. I'm sorry. And that's from Tickle Me. That's Jocelyn Lane.
Yeah.
I just think she is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, is she the best actress in any of the Elvis movies? Probably not. But the way she looks, her speaking voice is so sexy. And I just think the way she looks with Elvis is great. One of my favorite scenes, and I just watched it recently on your channel, is the whole Panhandle Kid scene with her.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
The Panhandle Kid.
The usual. Leave the bottle.
Don't go away, gal. I may want to kiss you later.
Let me go.
You heard the lady. Turn her loose.
Says who, mister?
Says me, mister.
Kid, don't tangle with him. He's the fastest gun west of Vegas.
Faster than this? You made his play, and I'm calling him. I said turn the girl loose. Drop it or I'll drop you, sister. Mister. Sorry I had to do that.
Mister.
Mister. Here. Never could stand the sight of blood.
Thank you.
Oh, kid. You were wonderful.
I know.
Like that milk, and he goes,
yeah. I mean, she doesn't have much dialogue, but I just love the chemistry and when he says, "Put the blame on me" to her, and she's dancing around. And I mean, no offense, all these ladies are out there watching this. The way she looks when she's doing the yoga, I'm sorry, she looks amazing. So, like I said, this is 10-year-old Michael watching this movie. I've always had a fancy for her. So that's why that's my number 3 is Jocelyn Lane. And there's this great interview that she did. It's very short that she did with Dick Clark on American Bandstand. And she had just finished the filming of Tickle Me. And she asked, Dick Clark asked her about the movie. And she got a little a little shy. And she said, "Did you kiss Elvis?" She goes, "Oh, yeah. How was it?" "Oh, it was very good." So it's a very, if you get a chance to watch it, it's a quick 2-minute clip of Dick Clark interviewing.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. And I didn't. It's kind of startling because she's not from America. She's from England, so she has that English accent. So it was kind of startling that she had that. So, but yeah, if you get a chance to see that, it's pretty funny, and you can see that.
Check it out.
Yeah. So Jocelyn Lane's my number 3.
Yeah, that's such an underrated movie because
it really is.
Actually so entertaining.
Very Scooby-Doo like.
Pardon?
Very Scooby-Doo like.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He walks around, he's carrying all that gear and they're all doing the yoga and he starts tripping and falling all over. That is such a classic. It just goes to show you what a good actor he was.
Yes, exactly. Like I said, it's not about it's about, like I said, 10-year-old Michael watching her for the first time and being very enamored with her.
Yeah. All right, so this is where you and I lock favorites. Joan Blackman is my number 3. Same scene too. Is my favorite scene. It's that him working on the truck.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, man.
It's all right. I don't scare easily.
I was looking for Mr. Grogan.
He's in the kitchen. Do you work here?
Well, kind of. I more or less get dirtied up around the place.
Are you a fighter?
Not really. A lot of people have different ideas about it, though.
I see.
Do you belong up here? I mean, I've never seen you around before.
I'm Willie's sister.
You are?
What's funny?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Galahad! Hey, Galahad!
Who's Galahad?
That's me. Excuse me. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I liked her so much better. I liked her in Blue Hawaii. She looks so different between the two movies too.
Yeah.
But I liked her better in Kid Galahad because it's just the way she looked and how him and her and Elvis interacted. And that scene at the truck, but there's 2 scenes I had a time picking, so maybe I'll throw one of the other scenes in with when I flip on this one. But my favorite scene is the same one as yours. But the other scene I really like is when he walks into the bar the first time he sees her.
Yes.
That's my number 3, Joan Blackman.
Yeah, she's really great, and I agree with you. I like her a little bit better in Kid Galahad as well. And she's good in Blue Hawaii. I just feel, even some of the scenes that she has with Gig Young, I thought were really good as well. I thought she did a good job of that movie. But I just love like I said, it's an innocent type relationship they had on screen, and it just works so well together. And she's really beautiful, and she sitting next to Elvis, they look really well together. It's just a perfect fit almost.
Oh yeah, the ones where he's singing "I Got Lucky" and she's sitting right next to him,
Oh yeah.
and that strap's like falling off, and I go, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, and then
You get a
I
little
love the
older.
one scene where she's actually giggling like really like hard,
Yeah,
which because he rolls his eyes or something and she
yeah,
giggles really. You're right. I even love even the version of "Home Is Where the Heart Is." I mean, the way he sings to
yeah,
her and and I love that, and it's maybe a lot of people that might know it, but when I forget the line, but and she like goes to him, no, 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 it's okay.
yeah,
Where I may not be, I may not be much of anything, but
yeah,
and she's like, no, no, you're who I want,
yeah,
So it's like that little head shake that she said was really great, and I
yeah.
agree with you. I think she's fantastic. Like I said, I don't know if you've heard the rumors about her, Elvis not really not a big fan of hers. I've read that in a couple books, but I don't.
I don't see it.
To me, yeah, to me, I don't think that's true. I mean, why would he have her in the second movie if that was the case? So but
Yeah,
yeah, if you ever really, there's an interview that Joan did, I think in the '90s, and supposedly she met Elvis right before he went to the army, and they had a little bit of a relationship there. So I don't know how true that is, but according to Joan, um,
I
uh,
think I've heard that somewhere along the line.
yeah, yeah. So it's an interesting. It's interesting that a lot of rumors about Joan Blackman. It's weird.
Hmm. Yeah, she's definitely and Kid Galahad to me was a good movie too.
Yeah, and
I,
another one with a great supporting cast too,
oh
Brick.
yeah, oh yeah, with Gig Young
Charles
and
Charles
Ross
Bronson and Gig
Bronson.
Young
Yeah,
and Lola Albright's very underrated in this movie too.
oh
She's
yeah,
fantastic in it. Yeah, so it's a really good movie.
yeah. I watched it for the first time in a long time, not no too long ago, and I just thought I it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
You
me
sit there
too.
getting pummeled in the boxing ring at the beginning.
Yeah,
I still get my $5.
yeah, yeah, right.
That's a good movie.
It really is.
All right, so that was my number three.
Okay, number two. I'm sure we're gonna hear this name down the line from you, but she's my number two. I love her. It's Shelley Fabares.
Yeah.
I absolutely love her. Obviously, the three movies. What I love about the three movies, Rick, too, is all three. She's different.
Oh yeah.
In Girl Happy, she's like the innocent college girl, and
Mm-hmm.
then in Spin Out, she's the spoiled brat, and then in Clam Bake, she's kind of this woman now, and she's
Yeah.
more into getting a man and getting the marriage and stuff, and she's great in all three roles.
And Elvis doesn't get the girl in Spin Out.
Right, exactly, yeah, right,
He marries them all, or what?
yeah,
Gives them all away.
right, right, and I just love the chemistry between them. Obviously, she went on to do some great things. She's in one of my favorite series that I used to watch when
Oh
I was
yeah.
younger, called Coach, where
Yeah.
she
Oh,
played.
yeah. I love that show. With
Great
Joe Van
show,
Dyke
very
and
underrated.
Craig T. Nelson.
Yes, yes. I
Mm.
think she won a Golden Globe for that
Yeah.
for her role in that. She played Brian Piccolo's wife
Yeah.
in Brian's song. So she does some tremendous things,
He
and
was in
she
that
always has nice things.
father was what was it? What was the TV series she was in the 50s, early 60s? Not
Oh,
Father Knows Best, but
I might have it here. Hold on. I
Johnny
don't.
Angel.
Yeah. The Donna Reed show.
Donna Reed show, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the Donna
Yeah, I
Reed
used to
show.
watch
Yeah,
the reruns of that all the time after
yeah,
I saw her in Girl Happy, and they used to play the reruns, and of course, I
yeah.
was fascinated her from day one.
And,
And then, of
and
course, yeah,
yeah, it's not.
go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, Greg.
An interesting tidbit about her is that she had a number one song, and number two was an Elvis song.
Yes, was that Johnny Angel, right?
Yeah, with Johnny
Yeah.
Angel.
What was the number? It was the number two
I
Devil in
can't
Disguise.
remember. Huh?
Was the number two Devil in Disguise?
It might have been the Devil in Disguise because it was right around 60.
3, right?
Yeah, 62, 63.
Yeah, I could have swore it was Devil in Disguise, but I'll
It
have
may
to
have
look
been
that
Devil
up.
in Disguise. I thought
Yeah,
that was interesting.
yeah, and it's funny. I mentioned about how she had 3 different movies, 3 different roles. She looked different in all 3
Oh
too,
yeah,
right? Like it
yeah,
was just like, and listen, all 3 she looked unbelievable. She's so beautiful even
yeah,
now, and she talks so glowingly about Elvis, even to this day. So
Oh yeah, she
that
totally,
yeah.
you know, she really cared for the man.
Yeah, and some of my favorite scenes from her, you know, obviously from Girl Happy, I love when she gets drunk and she's
Hey, Val, what do you think you're doing? Let's get out of
you,
here.
Boy Scout, you've been in my hair all week. Why don't you get out?
Val, what do you think you're doing? Come on, let's get out of here. Val, what are you doing here? What's the matter with you?
My father's paying you to take care of me. I think you ought to get more for his money.
and she's you know, she's with the stripper and she's trying to strip and she's, you know, and she pulls it off so great. And
Yeah.
Elvis is trying to get her off the stage,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Spin Out, I love, you know, when after he sings "Am I Ready" to her, and
Yeah.
you know, and he kind of like chastises her because, you know, Daddy does everything, and she starts crying. And then obviously in '67, you know, Clambak's not the greatest movie, but I love the scene of right before he sings "You Don't Know Me,"
Yeah.
where, you know,
When
he
he
takes
takes her hair down.
Yes, yeah, just so beautiful and so romantic, and
Yeah.
and the way she looks at him too, and the way
Yeah.
she looks back at him, and he like kind of nods at her, and he goes right into "You Don't Know Me." That's my favorite scene of the entire movie. So
Yeah.
so that's why Shelley Vibré is my number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my number 2 is Judy Tyler from Jailhouse Rock, and I've always been fascinated with her just by her look. She just got that kind of a. She didn't have a bad girl look. She had that she had an innocence about her, but she had a very exotic type of look.
Yeah.
That black hair and that she was a great actress. I mean, it's just a shame that she died. Never even get to see the premiere of the movie, you know. But yeah, I've always been a huge fan of hers from that movie, and I watch the movie sometimes just to see her because and that had a great cast, you know, Dean Jones and
Mickey Shaughnessy.
Mickey Shaughnessy, and it was a great movie, and but my favorite scene in that movie has to be, you know, what makes you think that such tactics, and you know when he said that, you know, they made tactics, honey. That's a beast.
Well, you finally got your sensation, and I hope you're satisfied.
Get on my back, kid. I ain't in the mood.
You insulted my father, my mother, and me, and it's just unforgivable.
What do you expect? I come out, have a little beer. First thing I know, some old broads push me in the corner with some stupid question.
They were just trying to bring you into the conversation.
I could show their conversation. I'm not even sure they were talking English.
I'll drive you back to your hotel.
I'll walk.
I think I'm going to just hate you.
You ain't gonna hate me. I ain't gonna let you hate me.
How dare you think such cheap tactics would work with me?
That ain't tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
That's one of the best scenes. And my dad used to quote that all the time when my mom would say something. I mean, what are you trying to do? My dad would say, "That ain't tactics, honey. That's a beast of me." My mom would just roll her eyes, and my dad would laugh. You know, I think it's just
That's
a favorite
hilarious.
line.
Yeah.
That's my number 2, Judy Tyler. Man, I really wish she could have had a long career because
Yeah.
you know,
You could, Rick, it's funny. You could argue that she probably, in my opinion, and she was close too, but you could argue that she probably had the best performance of an actress in any of the Elvis movies. You could argue that. I mean,
yeah,
I think her performance, as far as acting,
yeah,
was right up there. And you're
oh
right.
yeah,
There was so much potential with her
yeah,
that I think that she could have done some great things. And you mentioned, the obviously those aren't tactics, honey. Great scene, obviously, but just some of the other scenes too, like where
oh yeah,
where Elvis is in the hospital and she's she's holding his hand, and just even when he sings "Young and Beautiful" to her, just the look in her eyes of love.
yeah.
It just gets to you, and just tremendous. Like I said, I think I think it's one of the best performances from any co-star that Elvis ever had.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I can't think of any other actress that put a
Yeah, I mean,
stronger performance. I mean,
yeah,
there's some good ones. I think.
yeah. There might be more that have maybe more chemistry, or maybe you like better, or you may be more attracted to. But as far as just acting ability, to
Yeah,
me, I think Judy Tyler, tops them all.
yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. I think a close second for me would be King Creole with Dolores Hart.
Yes,
But
yeah,
other
that's
than
good.
that, I think you're right. I agree with you. She covered the whole spectrum of anger, love, care.
Yeah,
And she covered it all, and she covered it very well.
yes,
You
very
know,
much so. Yeah.
because he was, for lack of a better term, he was a complete asshole. You
Oh,
know,
very much so.
in that movie.
And that's what made the movie great. Was
Yeah,
yeah. But she loved him no matter what. So it was just like
yeah,
she kept, no matter how he treated her, she kept coming back for
oh
more.
yeah,
She even told Mickey Shaughnessy in the movie, I'm a glutton.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's such a great movie.
It really is.
All right, so you're number 1.
My number one is you has your number 5. It's Anne Margaret. To me, it's just their chemistry goes. Listen, it's right from the start.
Yeah,
Again, the 10-year-old boy in me, she's just absolutely gorgeous,
yeah,
beautiful. Like you said, that scene when she's coming with the legs, it's just like, as a 10-year-old boy, you're just mesmerized, So,
yeah,
I listen, and their musical numbers are just incredible.
yeah.
Between
Oh
Lady
yeah,
Love, Come On Everybody's one of my top 3 favorite musical scenes in
yeah,
all of Elvis's movies. Um, but even some of the tender scenes too, I thought she was really good on. When she
yeah.
talks about, one of my favorite scenes too is when she talks about how she's concerned about him driving the race car.
And I'll be racing again. Someday.
Someday you'll get smashed up, just like Cal Howard.
How'd you know about that? Oh, look, he was just unlucky, that's all. It's just one of those things.
Unlucky, that's what everybody says. Honey, I just don't understand this part of you. I really don't.
What do you mean, this part of me? Rusty, it is me. Try to understand, it is me.
Then you've got to understand me. When I get married, I want a little white house with a tree in the front yard. A real kind of tree with green leaves.
Oh, that. When I get into the money, we can have 100 trees and a big White House, a 4-car garage and everything. Because by then I'll be the champ.
I don't want you to be champ. Look, don't you think I know that every single cent that you get your hands on, you're going to gamble away? Because it's that motor you want? The Grand Prix? Any race? Any fool would know you won't change. Not for anybody. Not for anybody.
Yeah.
And she tells him, I don't know if I could be with you. I don't understand the side of you. And just like that really got to me. I
Yeah.
thought she was fantastic. You could see just it comes off the screen like
Yeah.
unbelievable how much they really enjoyed each other. Obviously, she wanted to do some great things afterwards. My only wish was, well, two things. I wish You're the Boss would have been in the movie
That
because
would have been a great
oh
song.
my god, I know it's kind of racy for its time, but I would love to have seen
I would
that
have
on
loved to
screen.
see what kind of scene they created around that.
Yeah, and I also wish I really think, Rick, that they could have been a rock and roll version of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers on screen. I really think they could have done a bunch of movies together, and it would have
Yeah.
been
Oh
just
yeah.
classic. You know,
Yeah. They could have definitely done a few others. Yeah.
yeah, I really wish they could have done more together. And I wonder if, because I know I read somewhere where Colonel Parker, where kind of they thought Anne Margaret was kind of outshining Elvis, and I never ever thought that. I always thought they were equals.
Yeah.
I never thought one outshone the other. I mean, she's fantastic in it. I just thought they were equals, and
Yeah.
Elvis had his time, Anne had her time, and I think it was good for Elvis to kind of be kind of like not challenged, but kind of having a co-star that was kind of equal to him. And
Well,
I think it
yeah,
showed.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. She was one of probably all of the co-stars. I mean, there were some other ones that sang and all that, but of all the co-stars that had a package just like Elvis, where he could sing, dance, act, all of it. He had the
Right.
whole full, gamut of it all. And there was no other. I mean, Nancy Sinatra sang, but that's I didn't think very well, but she sang.
Right.
And of course, Shelley sang, but she wasn't a singer in the movies. And but you're right, she was a equal to Elvis
Yeah.
as far as encompassing what kind of talent she had.
Yeah. It just felt like Elvis was got on his game a little more with
Yeah.
her around. So that's why it's my number one. Like I said, I still think she's beautiful even at the age of 80 today.
Oh
She's
yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, she has. I mean, I loved her in Grumpy Old Man. That was a
Yes.
great movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's there's a movie. I don't know if you ever saw this. I was thinking of it the other day because I was kind of going through. Well, I was feeling ill. I was kind of just scanning through YouTube and look at just reading whatever pops up, and I would look at stuff. And they had this interview between Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. They were talking about the movie Silence of the Lambs, and I remembered there was a movie that Anthony Hopkins made back in around early 70s, somewhere around there, called Magic. If
Never
you ever
saw
get a chance, Anne Margaret's in it.
Okay.
She plays a bit role, but she's she's a neighbor in the, and it's a psychological thriller. It's called Magic, and he's a ventriloquist. And if you ever get a chance to I think it's probably on YouTube, but if you ever could get a chance to see it, it's really good. But Anne Margaret's in it, and it's basically just a two-person movie. There's really not any other characters, maybe one or two, kind of like a handyman or whatever. But Burgess Meredith is in it too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think those are the three that are in it, and it's a really good psychological thriller. When I saw it, I think I was only like 20 something. It scared the crap out of me when I saw it. It was just one of those type of movies.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but check it out.
I definitely will. And I'm a huge Johnny Carson fan, so I watch a lot of Johnny Carson on YouTube. So
yeah,
there's a couple of episodes where Anne Margaret comes out, and between her and Ed and all the guests, the way they look at her, like she comes out in these unbelievable dresses, and
her
body looks. I mean, she looks gorgeous. I mean, she's just one of my
that
favorites.
red hair, man. That red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's of course, everybody knows what my number one is. Is Shelley Fabares.
Yes.
I just, and now you can see kind of maybe the theme of my favorites are the girl next door type of actresses.
Yes.
Anne Margaret barely made the list because between Anne and Hill, but Anne Margaret wanted out just because of that scene from the movie, and just I think she's a great actress. I love Anne Margaret. But my favorite movies are the ones where it's got that innocence girl next door.
Mm-hmm.
And all three of those movies with her had that innocence still.
Yes.
It's very but my favorite scene with Shelley Fabares, she doesn't even speak a word. Once again, it's at the end of Girl Happy when she gets up on stage and starts dancing with Elvis, and she's
I'm paying you to watch her, ain't I? Why don't you get to work?
Every time I see a pretty face, my heart just heads for outer space. I need a girl to make my life worth living. Yes, I'm girl happy. Yes, I'm girl happy. Girl happy. Can't you see? I've been like this since I was just a baby boy. First nurse ever rocked my cradle, made me jump for joy. Girl happy, well I'm girl happy, yes I'm girl happy. Can't you see? Girl happy, said I'm girl
move. Once again, I came of age when I saw that at the theater. It's just her moves, the way she moves. But once again, you're mentioning, with clam bacon, the scene in the boat room, and there's just so many scenes with her. It was hard to pick them, but I always love that scene at the end of the movie when she gets up and starts dancing. When he sings "So Happy," and but other scenes. When she drives them off the road into the
Yeah, I
lake.
was just gonna say that one, Rick. Yeah, it's a great one.
Yep. Yeah, there's just so many of them, and so she's my favorite. I mean, my headphones are named Shelly. I named my headphones Shelly. But
it's a great number one. Like I said, it was my number two, so she's right up there for me. And you're right. There's so many great scenes with her in it. Like even like in the clan at the end of the clam bake, where she's in the car with them, and she, does it mean you won't marry me? And the way she says, "Of course I'll marry you." Like the way she said it, just like you could, and even like when she sings "A House That Has Everything" to her, and just the way they look at each other, it's so great, and she's beautiful in all three movies. Like I said, she looks different in all three movies, but she's still gorgeous in all three. So
but she's a college student in one.
Yeah.
She's a daughter's brat in the second one.
Yep.
And then the third one, she tried to find that man.
Yeah.
And of course she deals with Bill Bixby, who I love Bill Bixby.
Yeah.
But in the two movies he was in, you just want to slap the crap out of him.
Right. Yeah. And that's another great scene in Clam Bake. People have mentioned Clam Bake as being one of his stinkers. Like I said, there's some good scenes in there. I love the water skiing scene between her and Elvis, where she loses her top. It's like
Yeah, it seems like women seem to lose their tops in his movies.
Yeah, between her and Joan Blackman.
Hawaii. And then a lot of them lost their tops when they saw him in concert too.
Yes. Let me ask you this, and I don't want to bring it down, but is there one female co-star you were not a fan of?
I was going to I actually was going to go to that next.
Okay.
I have one my least favorite actress co-star is Nancy Sinatra.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. I didn't think she could act. I never thought she could sing. I never thought she was attractive. And I just never liked her. I just never liked her as an actress. That would be she would be the one of all the movies he had that I disliked. All the other ones I liked in one form or fashion.
Right.
But her, and I don't really watch Speedway that much because I don't like her.
Okay.
Or I'll fast forward through her parts.
Yeah, she's not in my top 5. She wouldn't be in my top 10. I find her, fine. Like I said, I
Yeah.
don't think she does anything spectacular.
Yeah.
And she always has great things to say about Elvis. So I
Oh
always,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
outside of
So,
the friends, yeah.
but you're right. That movie doesn't really stand out. You're right. The Your Groovy Self and There Ain't No Other Song is not one of my favorites.
Right.
But like I said, she's okay. Like I said, not one of my favorites. For me, this just a preference. I'm not a fan of. I just don't think they had a lot of good chemistry, and that's Annette Day from Double Trouble to me. Maybe it's the story
Yeah.
itself. Maybe it's the
Yeah.
story itself that is kind of weird, where she's kind of like the underage girl. Maybe that just didn't click with me. Um, I just, to me, I just didn't like. Maybe if Elvis was a little younger, maybe it would have worked. I just didn't
Yeah.
like that kind of. I just didn't like her performance
Storyline.
in that movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hers in that movie, or I'm not really a huge fan of that movie either. Though I
Yeah,
watch
me
it,
either.
I watch all of his movies, but there's some that I'll watch over and over again, obviously. But yeah,
Right.
I'm with you on that one. I didn't think a whole lot of her, and I think one of the worst scenes he ever did in a movie was sitting on the back of a truck singing "Old MacDonald Had a Farm."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, to me that was the worst scene that was ever made in any movie of his. But yeah, it's funny you asked that because I was actually going to say, would you be open to mentioning what your least favorite actress is?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're not disparaging anybody. It's just a matter of
no,
preference.
no, I just don't think they had chemistry. I don't think they had chemistry in that movie, really, like
Right.
they did with other actresses. But
Exactly.
the only song that I ever really liked by her was "Boots for Walking." These
Right.
boots are made for walking. It was just a catchy song. But she never did anything for me.
Yeah, I get
Um,
it. Like I said, she never was even close to my top 5, even top 10. So
yeah.
I never
And
really thought about her at all.
I thought Mary Tyler Moore did a good job in Change of Habit, but it was just it was it was too plain of a role. But it
Yeah.
was a good story though. I thought I love Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, I always says the Dick Van Dyke Show. I've always liked Mary Tyler Moore, but that movie just for me, I love the movie, and the
Right.
whole everything about it. I just maybe it was just I don't know. I don't know what it is that
It's
didn't
you
click
know
with
what,
me.
you're right. It seemed like he had more chemistry with, I forget her name, the other nun on the movie.
Yeah, interesting thing about that is she didn't like him when they first met. She
Right.
did not think very. She was more into more of like a classical or jazz type of music, and she
Right.
was not a fan of his. And I think, from what I read, she really wasn't too much into doing this movie with him. Didn't want to do an Elvis movie with him. But evidently, on the first day of set, when she met him, her whole opinion changed, and
Right.
they became really close friends.
Yeah, Jane Elliott's the name. That's what I was
Yes,
thinking of.
yes,
Jane Elliott. Yeah, yeah. Because
yeah,
there's some pictures of them. Not off screen where they you could tell that they had a friendship there. So,
yeah,
but to me, I thought they had more chemistry than Elvis and
yeah,
Mary did.
yeah. They did. I think so too. But I think she said one time that they became like brothers and sisters. They became
Yes.
really close friends and joked around and there's a picture of her sitting on his lap and they're just joking around, and that's good. That just goes to show you that he could turn anybody around.
Yes. Yeah.
And I took a friend I took a friend one time to a concert who wasn't an Elvis fan, but I had an extra ticket because somebody couldn't go. But he wasn't an Elvis fan. I said, "No, come on, you got to go." He said, "No, I'm not an Elvis fan." He walked out there and he went down the store the next day and bought a bunch of albums. He said that was one of the best concerts he'd ever seen. It was, and it was one of his later years concerts. It was in 1976. So Elvis was able to, you go
Yeah, and
hear
he did.
concert
Yeah, he did the same thing with Marilyn Mason too, because she mentioned in an interview that she wasn't into his music; she was more into the show tunes, and they kind of had a little like disagreement over music, and she said to him, "Have you ever heard show music?" He's like, "No," and so the next day, Joe Esposito gave Marilyn Mason a cassette of Broadway tunes, and he said Elvis listened to it, liked it. So, which shows you that Elvis was loved all kinds of music. Obviously,
Yeah, he did. He loved all kinds of music.
Yeah. So,
well, this is fun. I enjoyed this. Well, Michael, thanks. I enjoyed this. Nice Sunday
afternoon. This is awesome. Let's do this again, please.
Yeah, I'll think of you next Sunday when we're kicking the Saints' rear end.
You probably will, the way the Saints are going right now.
Yeah, well, the Falcons haven't been too hot lately either, but, we'll see. All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you so much, Rick.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Bye-bye.